That's something, you know, is long overdue. That's why I say it's about damn time.
Peguis First Nation becomes the first Indigenous group in Manitoba to take over its child and family services, signing a multi-lateral agreement that was years in the making. It's a historic day for Indigenous groups in Manitoba as Peguis First Nation becomes the first to take control of their own child welfare. Chief Glenn Hudson says it's important for Indigenous communities like Peguis to get their children and people back.
We're not afraid. We're not afraid to do what's right. We're not afraid to ensure that we continue to move the path forward.
Peguis is the first of more than 24 First Nations to notify Indigenous Services Canada that they intend to handle their own child and family services. This is outlined in a federal act respecting First Nations, Inuit and Métis children, youth and families, which was introduced in 2019. Martin Favel says this is just the beginning.
Taking these steps in a direction where who knows where it's going to lead us, you know, but I see good things. Darn good things.
Residential school survivor Louise McCorrister says Indigenous people are in the biggest crisis of their lives right now.
And this new legislation will allow us, as the Red people, as our Aboriginal people, to take those people and pick them up and lift them up.
Peguis received federal approval last year, but now the province has ratified the agreement.
This is the first agreement to be signed in the province of Manitoba. It's fitting that as Peguis First Nation, we can't go back to those days. We need to continue to move forward, and we're going to do that together.
Saskatchewan's Cowessess First Nation was the first group in Canada to take over their child welfare back in 2021. Federal Indigenous Services Minister Patty Haidu says so many children end up in foster care and never leave.
Today is about making sure that families have the tools they need to regain the skills that they may have lost because it was a policy of a colonial country to undermine parenting. It was a policy of a colonial country to divide families. Today changes that.
Last summer, Peguis First Nation was forced to declare 2 state of emergencies in the community after major overland flooding battered the community, forcing hundreds out of their homes. Hudson says this has been a long time coming and is pleased the control is now in their hands.
It's up to us to take control of that and to make sure our families are looked after.
Peguis First Nation said its laws will allow their members from across the country to receive services. In Winnipeg, Alex Karpa, City News.